Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Nafisa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed.
You don't just stumble into 9 turnovers in a single game by accident. That's not a stat line, it's a public confession. An open mic moment where Angel Reese basically said, "Here, take the ball. You look like you need it more than me." It was like she was hosting a charity event for struggling defenders. Every possession was a giveaway special. You get a steal, you get a fast break. Oprah would be proud, but what happened on that court wasn't generosity.
9 turnovers. Yo, listen, y'all gotta stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo. Y'all gotta stop.
The entire WNBA and Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 rebounds and then immediately goes at Victoria Saxton 3 times in a row.
It was a masterclass in basketball chaos. And the stud buds. Oh, they didn't just show up, they tore through the court like a wrecking crew on open mic night. This wasn't a game, it was a blooper reel in real time, if confidence had a cousin. Named Catastrophe, this was the family reunion. Let's make one thing clear, this wasn't just a bad game. It was a historic disaster teetering on the edge of basketball infamy. The kind of game that doesn't get framed or remembered fondly, it gets buried deep in the archives. We don't talk about that 9 turnovers, that's not growing. Pains, that's a full-on identity crisis. Reese wasn't just having a tough night, she was actively dismantling possession.
Gets close to her during a box out, grabs her by her hips, and hip tosses her, throwing her to the ground. She stands up, she walks over to this opponent, bends over, screams in her face, and flips her the double bird. That's the WNBA gold. We're gonna get into it. And the laughter, oh, Angel. Oh, my angel, you're my darling, angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers.
She gets a good whistle, jumps up, and then goes at somebody on the other team. Who she go at? She goes at Diamond Miller, her former Maryland teammate. And like Angel's 1 tech off a suspension as well. And is like, anytime anyone gets into it with her, she's straight in their face. And I'm like, I don't mind that, but you just gotta be smart. To be fair, this guy sucks, so you might as well just go and take your I'll say it.
The lane, every time she touched it, turned into a mosh pit of confusion and broken timing. Watching her attempt to operate in half-court offense was like watching someone set up a tent in the middle of a freeway. Predictably, everything around her ground to a halt, and don't even bring up pick and roll situations. The only thing rolling was the basketball right into the other team's hands. At some point, you start to wonder if this is real or an elaborate satire of team dynamics. If it's not intentional, then the coaching staff is asleep at the wheel.
Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, KC, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always
wheel, because any offensive action involving Reese quickly devolves into a logjam. That could make LA traffic look like a Sunday drive. It's as if the coaches handed her an honorary title, facilitator. Not because she's a playmaker, but because they've collectively decided that the safest defensive option is for her to hand off the ball. Like it's a hot potato. It would be cute if this were middle school, but this is professional basketball. When she's not passing,
people are defending this. Let's get into it. Aneka Ogumite, She gets up, proceeds to get boxed out, unable to move her opponent out of the way. Nneka Ogwumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wing's teammate, being a good teammate, gets in the middle of the two, pushes Nneka out of the way like a good teammate should. Instead of saying, Nneka, come here, let me get you a hug. No, get up off my teammate, girl. Get up off my teammate. Nneka Ogwumike.
She's bricking. When she's not bricking, she's flailing. And when she's not flailing, she's traveling both literally and metaphorically somewhere far away from the rim. At this point, the only thing she's facilitating is a highlight reel of fast breaks for the other team. What's worse is how her teammates have started adjusting around her weaknesses. Watch closely. They hesitate to cut toward her. They widen the floor to give her a buffer zone. It's not strategy, it's survival. Like a team running plays with a live grenade.
With a win last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynxers, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitter.
Currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. She would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the texts are warranted. They are all warranted.
Her presence on the floor isn't stabilizing, it's stifling. For all the talk about her leadership, grit, and supposed championship DNA, she's become an anchor weighing the team down. And not the sturdy kind, the drowning kind. Defense, let's talk about that. Watching her hustle back on a turnover is like watching someone try to run in flip-flops. There's movement, but it's mostly decorative. The urgency is absent. The frustration is visible. The intensity is wasted. There's no discipline in her game. Only vibes, and even those are inconsistent. It's all emotion without structure. All energy with no direction. That's not leadership. That's chaos with a press pass. Let's address the elephant in the locker room, the coaching staff. They have to see this. No one accidentally draws up this many failed possessions and thinks, yes, more of that. But the truth is uglier. They're committed to the narrative. They're protecting the image. They're all in on the hype and too far down the road to turn around now. So what do they do? Keep feeding her minutes, bury the flaws, invade post-game platitudes, and flood social media with carefully edited highlight clips that conveniently end before the inevitable turnover. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about optics, about a machine that overhyped a player to mythical proportions, then backed themselves into a corner where admitting the truth would mean shattering months of carefully crafted branding. Angel Reese didn't ask for this, not directly, but she's become the poster child of the illusion of dominance. A player propped up not by consistent, reliable performance, but by flashy box scores, empty double-doubles, and a relentless media push. Some of y'all are hypnotized by numbers. You see 14 points and 12 rebounds and assume she was out there cooking. But if you actually watched the game eyes open, brain engaged, you'd see a different story. This wasn't dominance, it was dysfunction. Her stat lines are the basketball equivalent of clickbait headlines, dramatic, colorful, and wildly misleading. The coaching staff isn't coaching anymore, they're stage managing, framing the narrative just right in hopes that fans don't peek behind the curtain, pretending that turnovers are just part of the process, and all the while, real talent is being wasted. Teammates who do move the ball, who can shoot, who understand the concept of team offense sidelined, sacrificed on the altar of brand protection. You can feel the emotional toll on the rest of the roster. They're adjusting, not evolving, resigned to the fact that Reese is untouchable, that no matter how many mistakes she makes, the machine will keep turning, and the opposing teams, they know they want her to get the ball. You can practically hear the defenders whispering, let her cook, not out of fear, but out of anticipation. They want to see the chaos unfold, because they know the kitchen's on fire and the recipe hasn't changed. She's not a cornerstone. She's a liability, a walking contradiction. All flash, no finish. A player whose game has become a cautionary tale about the dangers of hype without humility, branding without accountability, and every minute she stays on the floor without consequence. It sends a message that performance doesn't matter, only perception. That loyalty to the narrative trumps loyalty to the scoreboard. You don't just stumble into 9 turnovers in a single game by accident. That's not a stat line, it's a public huddle th.